All right, on to chapter 45. We just finished 44, where Joseph's messing with his brothers. He's had to leave the room a couple times because he gotten emotional. They still don't recognize him for some reason, and that might be because he's covered up, or he's changed so much for being in jail and everything. They just don't recognize him, or he was just too young. So many reasons. Maybe the scholars and the professors know like they do. So, sorry, I didn't mean to say it that way. It's just they seem to know a lot. I guess because they study it all the time. But Judah spoke up for everyone. Maybe I think he's the leader. I mean the older one. I don't know. So many characters in the Bible. It's just hard to remember them all. So on the chapter 45, Joseph could stand it no longer. Out of all of you, he cried out to his attendants. He wanted to be alone with his brothers when he told them who he was. Then he broke down and wept aloud. His sobs could be heard throughout the palace, and the news was quickly carried to Pharaoh's palace. "I am Joseph," he said to his brothers. "Is my father still alive?" But his brothers were speechless. They were stunned to realize that Joseph was standing there in front of them. "Come over here," he said. So they came closer. Imagine you tried to kill your brother, and he's there, and after after so many years, he's in control of everything. So you'd be speechless too, I would assume, and you wouldn't know what to say, because so much hurt. Come over here, he said. So they came closer, and he said again, "I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. But don't be angry with yourselves that you did this to me, for God did it. He sent me here ahead of you to preserve your lives. These 2 years of famine will grow." Think about that past thing. God did it to him. He says God did it to them. So you think about our lives and what we've been through and what you've gone through at times, and do you ever think back like, yeah, maybe that happened for a reason, even though at the time you weren't so sure. A lot of times I think back of things in my life. To this day, it's kind of crazy to think about, like, I went through that for a reason, and I'm still going through stuff now that I went through back then. But everything's a learning experience, so you kind of learn how to get through it and all of that. So, let's see. These 2 years of famine will grow to 7, during which there will be neither plowing nor harvest. God has sent me here to keep you and your families alive so that you will become a great nation. Yes, it was God who sent me here, not you, and he has made me counselor to Pharaoh, manager of his entire household, and ruler over all of Egypt. Hurry, return to my father and tell him, this is what your son Joseph says. God has made me master over all the land of Egypt. Come down to me right away. You will live in the land of Goshen, so you can be near with me and all your children and grandchildren, your flocks and herds and all that you have. I will take care of you there, for there are still 5 years of famine ahead of us. Otherwise, you and your household will come to utter poverty. Then Joseph said, you can see for yourselves, and so can my brother Benjamin, that I really am Joseph. Tell my father how I am honored here in Egypt. Tell him about everything you have seen, and bring him to me quickly. Weeping with joy, he embraced Benjamin, and Benjamin also began to weep. Then Joseph kissed each of his brothers and wept over them. And then he began talking freely with him. Pharaoh invites Jacob to Egypt. The news soon reached Pharaoh. Joseph's brothers have come. Pharaoh was very happy to hear this, and so were his officials. Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Tell your brothers to load their pack animals and return quickly to their homes in Canaan. Tell them to bring your father and all their families and come here to Egypt to live. Tell them Pharaoh will assign to you the very best territory in the land of Egypt. You will live off the fat of the land, and tell your brothers to take wagons from Egypt to carry their wives and little ones, and to bring your father here. Don't worry about your belongings, for the best of all the land of Egypt is yours." So the sons of Jacob did as they were told. Joseph gave them wagons as Pharaoh had commanded, and he supplied them with provisions for the journey. And he gave each of them new clothes. But to Benjamin he gave 5 changes of clothes and 300 pieces of silver. He sent his father 10 donkeys loaded with the good things of Egypt, and 10 donkeys loaded with grain and all kinds of other foods to be eaten on his journey. So he sent his brothers off, and they left. He called after them, "Don't quarrel along the way." And they left Egypt and returned to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan. "Joseph is still alive," they told him, "and he is the ruler over all of Egypt." Jacob was stunned at the news. Imagine coming home and hearing that, ruler over all of Egypt. Just an amazing thing to think about, I don't know. You think about that, like God sent me here or whatever, but they were gonna kill him, So I don't know. Maybe it's the way people talk now. Like, they'll say God did it, but it may just be life circumstances. I'm going by just through the lens of a middle person, not looking one way or another, but just thinking about just when life happens, Life kind of comes full circle in a way, a lot of times. And it's doing that here where they're all meeting up again. So, I didn't finish. I need to finish this chapter. Joseph is still alive, they told him, and he is the ruler over all of Egypt. Jacob was stunned at the news. He couldn't believe it. But when they had given him Joseph's messages, and when he saw the wagons loaded with the food they sent by Joseph, his spirit revived. Then Jacob said, "It must be true. My son Joseph is still alive. I will go and see him before I die."